Welcome back, Kevin. Unbelievable. Welcome back to another episode of our message recap. This is the show where we do exactly what the title says. We recap messages.
We're real creative in naming.
Yeah, you give a message. One of you guys gives a message every single week, and we spend some time talking about it.
Yep.
Why?
Because, you know, there's more that can be unfolded in just 1 hour on Sunday morning, or however many minutes it is. It's not actually an hour. It's like 20 to 30 minutes.
Yep.
On a Sunday morning. There's more we can unfold. So that's why we like to do these. And this week, we started a brand new series.
We Are Access.
Called We Are Access. And before we go any further, we have somebody new in the studio today. This is David. Say hi, David.
Sorry, I wasn't focusing.
David.
Is that David?
We found him on the street, gave him a couple bucks for lunch.
As you can see by his appearance.
And we asked him if he wanted to come film a video with us. So he said, yeah.
My will work for food sign worked.
my sit on couch and talk for food. Okay, so anyway, we did start a brand new series called We Are Access. And we're Access Church. Mm-hmm. And do you just want to first just kind of give a premise of what this whole series is going to be about, and then we'll talk about what we talked about this week.
So kind of the idea behind this series is, a transition just took place between us, switching lead pastor roles. And I just thought this is a good opportunity to kind of reestablish what we are as a church, what we do. Yeah. Not necessarily that things are changing, but just reestablishing our priorities, what we're about, what it means to be Access Church sort of things. So that's kind of the heart behind this series, is taking an intentional look for 6 weeks at what matters most to us as a church, the things we're going to be about, that sort of thing. So,
and I just want to add, why is it so important that we do this? And probably not just because there's been a transition, but probably a good idea to do this yearly.
Oh, yeah.
For what reason? I mean, you made it very clear.
For what we talked about this week.
The whole point of this week's message is it's so easy for us to lose focus.
Yeah.
Everything in our personal lives and organization, all that, everything just kind of drifts away from the original. And unfortunately, I think the place that it's most detrimental is in the church.
Absolutely.
So that's why we're talking about this stuff for 6 weeks.
Well, because, we talked about how we have seen in the church some drift towards talking more about performance, some drift towards talking more about end times, whatever it may be. And got to stay focused. And what's our focus?
Well, if you were watched online or you're here in person, you better have this memorized. We exist to draw people into a growing relationship with God through Jesus Christ.
That is the focus and the mission of Access Church.
I think the reason that churches tend to get off on that is, we talk about this a lot. Like, there's only so many messages in the Bible, and really they kind of all ought to lean towards this, at least Christian messages. And so I think messages. I think it happens a lot of times in the leadership where you unfortunately just kind of get bored with the same thing.
Yeah.
Can be a reason why, or something happens in the world, especially like what we're experiencing right now, that either something new shows up or you get tired with the old and you start to drift away from the very reason that you exist. So that's
COVID is here, but Jesus still died for us, and people need to know about it.
I mean, honestly, that's what it should be.
Yeah.
That's what it should be. So
I think a lot of times, too, there's us, the parishioners, us, the body of Christ, that we want to hear something new. I don't know how many times I've heard over the years, what's today's message about? It's a salvation. Oh, again? Like, whoa. What do you want to hear? You want to make something up? Because there's nothing greater than salvation. And if it's boring to you, that's sad.
Yeah, there's an issue in your relationship with God.
Very much.
Salvation's boring. So, I mean, honestly, that was
it in a nutshell.
The whole focus this week was about being focused, because I don't think churches, pastors, Christians, I don't think we do it intentionally. I think generally a lot of people don't have bad intentions and want to detract the work of God. I just think unless we continually focus on it, it's gonna happen to us. No, we're not exempt from it.
Yep.
And unless we constantly talk about what we're here for, why we're doing it, if we want to start a new project or a new ministry, okay, what's the goal of that. What's the goal of this service project, or what's the goal of this service group? Because if it's not that mission, I don't think we should do it.
I like that you brought that up when you said, we're not going to get involved with whatever it is, a humanitarian project, unless there's an opportunity to draw people into a growing relationship with God through Jesus Christ, because that's the whole point. It's the only thing that matters.
Yep. And I think, saying it like that is one thing, and it's very clear. I mean, I don't think that's necessarily... There's still discussion that needs to happen around those things, because maybe you do a project for the community and you don't get to immediately right there, but maybe there's an opportunity to invite people to church where they can hear. So, it's not like just this hard line, unless we're going to say Jesus at the end and giving them a backpack. We're not like, that's not the intent at all. But there better be some intentional follow-up or some way that we get to share that, and not just check it off and like...
Yeah,
I
feel good about myself.
I think another thing that happens all the time, and we've all probably experienced church divisions and church splits and things, and it really comes down to this idea that most people in most churches don't know why this church is here.
Yeah.
Like, what is the purpose for this church? Because there are many people who go to church say the purpose of this church is so that my experience here is with the music I grew up with, or the reason I come to church here is to bring my Bible, or and we just forget, if we don't keep what most people, matter of fact, this, a lot of pastors couldn't clearly explain what is the purpose of the Christian church. They couldn't explain it.
That's a bummer.
It is.
Jeez.
But it's all around.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
I've said for years that the church isn't here to change oil on people's cars.
No.
There's actually a business uptown that does that. That business does that. The church doesn't do that. The church isn't in the deck building business. There are other companies that do that. There are so many other things. As a matter of fact, for years, we've kind of said that when there is a national or a global emergency, there's a typhoon or an earthquake or something somewhere, and there's this huge thing of donate money to this rescue effort, which is a very good cause. But we've felt for years that there are so many people in this world that can donate to that. There are so few Christians donating to the cause of the gospel that maybe it would be better to let, and this is a horrible thing to say, but for Christians to say, hey, instead of getting involved in every project around the world, so there's so few of us, maybe your money should stay in propagating the gospel and let other people's money fix that situation.
Like Dave, he could have donated to Locks of Love years ago, but
Locks of Love.
he just chose to stay focused.
In case there's any cancer patients and they want a beer.
More like Jesus. At least the white European Jesus.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I like what you said, where you said the church, we have the only thing that matters after this world. We have the only message that matters after this world.
Yep.
So there's people out there doing great things that need to be done. But our mission here is the only thing that matters past this world.
If we accomplish our mission and we reach everybody there's to reach, and then we still have leftover,
sure,
Good
let's
deal.
do the rest.
Yep.
But I have a sneaking suspicion we won't ever get there.
It would be irresponsible and even sinful to take our energies for something before the purpose that God's called us to.
Yeah.
I love what
What a concept.
I think it was Penn and Teller. I think it was Penn said this quote on like, I don't even respect people who don't share their faith of this whole, keep your faith personal sort of stuff. He's like, listen, if you truly believe that there is an eternal destruction and I'm headed for it and you don't share that with me, you are the biggest jerk in the world.
No doubt.
I mean, he didn't say it that nicely because,
He's Penn.
because he's Penn.
Well, there's a true blunt way of putting it. Yeah, absolutely.
Like, listen, if we really believe that eternity hangs in the balance, there should be nothing that's more. And again, we're not perfect, okay?
Yeah.
I still buy guitar stuff, but at least I'm aware that I still.
Can I add something? Is what Penn said, and it's so true. but it doesn't give us an excuse to be rude.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely not.
No. Don't go out there
Yep.
and be rude about it. But
Yeah.
it is
That's
a
why
message.
the street corner preachers are so effective. Is that what
Yeah,
you're saying?
exactly. You know,
Don't be rude, but get the message out there. Absolutely,
Yeah.
100%. Well, we were commanded to do so. Yeah.
Yeah. And here's the thing, you know, I mean, we might touch on this a little later or whatever, but especially right now,
Oh yeah.
in the
No
time that
doubt.
we're in the political climate, in the racial climate, in the whole COVID mask thing, like it would be so easy to be more concerned with a different message right now. You know?
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of stuff to get fired up about.
Yep.
There's a lot of things that matter a lot, that affect our lives a lot, and that we all have very strong opinions on. But if that becomes the focus, don't call yourself the church anymore.
Yeah.
You know?
and some churches have went very political and
Yeah.
like, well, you're right, you're absolutely right,
Yep.
but that's not what God's called you to do.
Yeah. What is it? Do you want to make a point?
Or do you want to make a difference?
Yeah. Do you want to make a point or do you want to make a difference?
Yep.
Anything else to add? No.
Nothing from the peanut gallery, no.
So we'll go get lunch soon. It's okay.
I'm just really hangry right now.
Angry.
Okay. Well, yeah, there it is. There's a recap for this
Yeah.
week. The message is called We Are Access. It'll pop up here in a second. It's the first message in this, what I'm assuming is going to be quite a fun series.
Yeah, and I would just say this. Please watch the rest of them. This was really just
Yeah.
kind of like the foundation set up.
Yep.
The other 5 weeks are all going to stem from, okay, if we are focused, here's how it looks then.
Yeah.
So, you know, there's a lot more stuff we could talk about right now, but we're going to talk about that in the next 5 weeks.
We will definitely talk about that because we have a message recap every single week. So we have a message every week. So watch that when it pops up here in a second. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and make sure to come back next week because we'll be here.
Yep.
Have a great day. Peace.